Yes, let's get this party starting. Welcome to a fucking sweaty Friday. It's Friday the 13th, and with all the shit and misery that goes around right now, let's just shout into the void here and join me for an hour, 1 hour and a half or something to work on some sharks and stuff. Also, welcome from very tropical Belgium today because, oh my fucking god, we have been sweating like sweating pigs. In the studio today, two melted beagles, and a very judgmental snake. Haha. So what's on the slab, I hear you say? Proper hydration to start off with. Today is on the slab a land shark, which I'm going to chihuahua-fying it a bit. Let me just look up the cover quickly. There are so many cute images of Jeff the Land Shark for the It's Jeff comic, and the idea was, you know, to turn this one into a Chihuahua shark, because Chihuahuas are kind of nibbly and sharky and stuff, and that's kind of the request of the commission. So I thought the most iconic currently known pose of Jeff I just sketched up, and I'm gonna play around with it to see whether I can make it more go like, you know, Chihuahua. I'm thinking the song is like, you know, song's called Tequila, not Chihuahua. That would be funny. Da, 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 Chihuahua. But it isn't. It's tequila. We're not drinking tequila today. It is too warm. So the idea was to have a big shark in the center with, like, you know, swirly bits around. Some rainbow colors because it is a commemorative piece. I'm going to have the It's Daisy logo be all the way up here in the corner. It's Daisy. Hello. It's been busy as fuck with everything that's going on, so. And, you know, since the dearest old hubby is, you know, working off-site, I decided to, you know, prove to the world that I'm still alive. Hi, I'm alive. So yes, I'm actually working on Daisy a bit, because it took me a while to noodle out what I wanted to do, because so many Jeff the Land Shark variants around, but very few that would be really workable to transform into something I can work with. But then I thought the most known and iconic pose for Dearest Jeff is currently the Marvel Rivals one, which is a fun game. I love playing Jeff, and it's extremely cute, so I'm gonna see whether I can Daisify it a little. And once I'm happy with how it looks, it's gonna have an It's Daisy logo on it. It's gonna be a proper Marvel comic cover. Language, it's difficult. It's very warm here. I've worked all day. I've made colleagues cry. Language might come a bit hesitant. It's gonna be a Dogville comic, not a Marvel. So it's gonna have a little tag in the bottom saying Dogville, and instead of saying It's Jeff, it's gonna be It's Daisy. But now I need to see how I can. Yeah, I get another skull. the quick thing is we have next weekend's production release. Code freeze was last week, and someone tried to dump 4 defects in my box today. Well, not even logged proper, and I went like, you know, if you would have asked nice, I might have done something about it, but if you're being a dick, I'm gonna be a cunt back. And I decided to just, you know, record the meeting, and where I went like, oh sweetie, oh honey, schnookums, sugar pie, let's have an adult conversation about this shit. And allegedly, he after the meeting, he was at the office, I was working from home, he had slammed his laptop shut and went to the kitchen where he was fighting back tears while he was fetching a cup of coffee. And I'm like, ah, how sad. But I have recorded things and I've sent them on to his manager as well, and as to HR. If he would have asked nicely, I would have helped without a thing, but if you're just being a bit of a cunt cake, then, you know. And I still think that if he would have asked one of my penis wielding colleagues, it would not have been an issue. But he's just being, I don't know. So, skull for the skull throne shelf collection. So yes, let's see whether we can cutify this one. So I'm happy with the body. I'm thinking that I might put a bit of a plushy tail, because just the shark tail is, I'm not sure certain yet, but we need to get fluffy ears on here. Alas, as clowns will be around everywhere. I have apparently a gift for making people lose their temper, which comes with age, I assume. Not willing to deal with other people's bullshit. And it's Friday the 13th, he should have known then, you know, annoy the resident witch. I get, you know, it's okay paycheck, okay job, but the issue is that it's very still an older, what do I call, an older staffing pool, where, you know, not everyone is, you know, maybe they're maybe with it with technology and stuff, but maybe not with everything else that moves in society. So yeah. Yeah, you get, you know, if it's not talking about football or cars, you know, conversations at lunch can be a bit dull, and usually they shut up because, you know, I know more about cars than quite a few. Like, oh my god, you really looking up at a Porsche? Buy a proper Audi with a V8 engine, seriously. I mean, and then they go like, wait, what? So yeah, it's funny. So yes, but it was also funny. I'm not sure I posted that one in the Discord. I might have posted it in my little Warhammer group, this Discord. but I was wearing, you know, I have purple hair, I don't care, you know. It's easy to spot me, you know, usually indicates, you know, oh my god, danger, venomous, you know, stay out of the way. And I was wearing jeans, my boots, which are like combat boot-ish because they're extremely comfy, but just, you know, nicely polished black boots, my jeans, a neutral t-shirt, and over it like a very long checkered shirt that goes about up to the knees. So like a bit, you know, lumberjack meets XXL kind of, but it's very comfy and it's, you know, and I have my lanyard that's clipped onto my badge, has clipped onto my trousers. There's also a lanyard attached to it, and you know, the lanyard is in the bisexual pride flag colors, and most people at work just assume that it is matching with my hair, and I'm like, good on you, have fun, I don't care. And like 3 weeks ago, this dude just went like, you know, geez, you're really making a political statement today with your outfit. And I'm genuinely just looking at my shirt and like my black t-shirt and just going like, huh? Mm-hmm. And I'm just fetching my coffee and just go like, yeah, whatever, dude, you know, getting triggered by the hair or something. So it took me at around lunch time to realize like, oh no, he was tripping over the lanyard. Right. So I went like, yeah, whatever, it's a you problem, not a me problem. But apparently he was whining so much to his colleagues about it that they in the end just went like, can you just shut the fuck up or we will report you to HR. Just going like, you know, and nowadays everything's possible. And I didn't hear half of the shit because I just, you know, put on my headphones and whatnot. But it's really, you know, gives you an indication as to the age of and the type of, they're not bad people, but they're just a bit stuck in their ways, and sometimes you need a purple haired weirdo to shake them awake. I've had worse, and yes, it's annoying, but at the other hand, you know, I'd rather spend my energy doing things that are that make a difference. And you know, I usually wear something with pride colors or like a little bracelet or something at work for the simple reason so that people who are starting there, you know, number one, you weed out the assholes, and number two, for people who just start there to know that I am a safe purple. I'm a safe purple person. Find your safety purple person. So yes. I do like, however, currently with the ears here, it starts to look very, very demonic, which is kind of suitable for a chihuahua. But I need to make it a bit more. The curve needs to be good. That's why I'm sketching in red. Yeah, every chihuahua has a demonic streak, but it's kind of funny because, you know, I'm a shepherd type of person, and I like my beagles. However, we had a little chihuahua that came into the shelter, and I think he was called Pedro or Pepe or something like that. And oh my god, his nickname was Satan. He would love you the moment you gave treats. The moment you stopped getting treats, you got the full, you know, Cujo in mini format, like, you know, the growling, the snarling, the going like, what the fuck. We went like, yeah, we can't adopt this dog. He was genuinely aggressive, not normal. And you know, I go in pens where there are like snarling pit bulls and shepherds and whatnot, and I just usually go like, oi, cut it, and they kind of get it. Chihuahuas, they're at special level. He got adopted, and we went like, he got adopted? Yeah. This sweet old lady. And we just went like, did she know what she started? She gave like update photos, like little Pepe was, you know, lying on the lap, like, you know, belly rubs, cutest dog ever, friendliest dog ever. And we just went like, what the hell? What is she feeding the dog? How much tranquilizers does she give him? But no, So I do believe that every jar has a matching lid, and you know, in his case that was like a sweet old granny with slight masochistic tendencies. If you raise a Chihuahua proper, they're okay dogs. But leash aggression is not that weird neither. They have this very strong instinct to want to protect. I'm spending time on the ears because I'm still thinking whether I should give like a button nose or not. So I'm also, my dearest hubby is quitting work soon. He is quitting. Should be leaving in 10 minutes. It's also one of the warmest days ever. Yeah, is that the washing machine is lying on her back? Now, so it was the warmest day of the year so far, where we hit 30 degrees and more. I think on the upper level here it was 37 degrees, so that's almost hitting the 100s in house. So we, you know, thank God there is some form of air conditioning downstairs. But yeah, he was outside all day, so you know, sending me photos of like, look, I got an ice cream. Look, we're eating watermelon. So yeah, I can take the heat quite well. My children and my hubby, on the other hand, not so much. Alright, let me just... Yeah, I know. This is why, you know, women train to take hot showers so we can deal with that stuff. Yeah, it's I worked from home, so I had the cooling unit full blast on my workstation, and that was kind of good. And yes, it's not Stitch, by the way. It's Jeff the Land Shark that I'm modifying a bit for reasons, not three, just one. Yeah, but I think it starts quite early, simply because, you know, the moment you get, you know, we get, you know, when you really get a bad period, it's one of the few things that alleviates the pain. Also, you know, married to a Scandinavian, and when I sit in the sauna with David, I'm usually the one who goes like, you know, needs more heat. So, but most sauna places are really weak here in Belgium because they put like a safety on it of like, oh, what is it, 60 degrees, so what would that one be, 110 something? And I'm used to like, you know, proper Finnish sauna where if you put enough heat on the thing, it goes up to, you know, 110 Celsius. But yeah, people here don't really know how to sauna, so it's a safety thing, I'm quite certain. We asked them once, can the sauna be turned higher? Yeah, no, we don't do that one because, you know, some people are idiots. Some people drink alcohol in the sauna, and then we just sit there and we're like, yeah, in Sweden we would have the beers outside in the snow, and you would just sit in the sauna, go roll in the snow, have beer, and go back in. But yeah, sure. Not cooking, marinating, given the amount of beer involved. And yes, we go to private saunas for the simple reason that any public sauna here in Belgium tends to end up in a very, either a swing fest, which really not my thing. You're a delightful ice cream sign. A nice chocolatey one. So yes. Or like, you know, public saunas in Belgium, you know, best place for gay men to hook up as well, and just go like, yes, that's all nice, but we just want to sauna. We're boring that way. That was something I can pick up later. I'm too lazy to get up. We are getting a delightful little monster here, though. I do like the sharp teeth, but I'm also thinking to maybe go for like small chihuahua teeth. I'm not certain yet. But I can do a couple of variations. It's becoming, with a truffle nose, it's really becoming very, very stitchy like. So I think the color will do quite a lot there. Let me just see, where's the center line here? It's not perfectly centered. Yeah, I know, but I'm, you know, also not gonna make it, you know, look, if I make it look proper shark, then it really looks scary and creepy, and yeah, it's not the idea though. A big black truffle nose, because if I remember, I need to look up the references again proper for color, because she's gonna be tan in color, and I need to get the spots and the where you have like batteries of teeth that just, you know, the old ones fall out, the new ones come in. It does give Stitch vibes though, I have to say, but I kind of like it. Oh, I would be it's too warm. Yellow. God damn it. What are they called again? I should know this one. My brain is just really not working. Yes, yes, yes. I'm such a tourist that I need to look up the orc clans because I can't remember. The bad moons, yes. 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 I like snake bites. I usually have most of it are snake bites. And goths. And then, you know, whatever I have is like in a steampunk theme. So that's usually red, so people go, no evil sons. It's really too warm to think right now. Imagine having written code all day and you just, you know, in the afternoon, I just literally started going like, started screaming at my screen, why aren't you working? Why? And then you're debugging things over and you're like, oh, that's why, because you forget, you know, close brackets and stupid shit. So yes, it is hot today. Now, Maureen, I have another question for you. Currently, I just put the standard, it's Jeff, the Landshark tag on it, but did Daisy have a specific tag she had on the collar? Because that might be fun to use specifically for this one. I'm going to make the tail a bit fluffier. Yes, it's still going to be a shark tail, but I want it to be a bit more fluffier because... Ah. I literally dunked my head under the tap earlier just to, you know, get something going. Oh, my little stool is being a little bit of a stool. Alright, and we're back. So, the arrow goes down and the arrow is going to be swirled. I need to make a little dog from comic one logo here. Let's get some flow going. This is like, you know, what is affectionately known. Why is it on intermission? You daft cunt. Sorry, it's Sweary Friday, there's lots of cunts everywhere. This is what sketched on what in the local language is called kladpapier. So this is, you know, going to get transferred or resketched on general outlines. Like so. Like so, and then we can start add a bit of motion to the thing. Like sometimes I'm amazed that, you know, I can do shit. Maybe when it's warm and my brain is not braining. I'm also going to be fucking lazy and alright. I'm gonna send a message to my offspring and go like, refill my water. Not my wafer, my water. Or rain. So everyone, stay hydrated, drink enough. And my dearest hubby is on the way. Which means I will end up stopping at around the time that he comes back. So yes. I had generated the logo somewhere, proper, with a font replicator. So I'm gonna use that one, pick that one up for the font. Awesome, you are the best. Let me just look at it. Oh, such a cute one. I'm gonna incorporate that one because it makes it a bit more personal and cocktails. I'm getting too old for cocktails. Seriously, I'm not joking even. If I drink 2 glasses of wine, I have a massive headache. I don't get a hangover, I really get a headache right after I drink the wine. And most beers nowadays are like, meh. So yeah, no. However, a nicely cool tonic with ice cubes and some fresh mint can be very, very... I know, it's almost like I'm not Belgian anymore. What do you mean you don't drink alcohol? Very little. I still drink it, but it's just not as much as it used to be. And also to the point, gotten to the point where, you know, you no longer just drink. You were younger and you would go like, it's alcohol, good, glug glug glug. I don't do that one anymore because number one, you know, I get headaches, and number two, I'm too old. I have too little life left to waste it drinking shitty alcohol. So an occasional good whiskey, not the cheap shit. Or if I drink a cocktail, it's really, really gonna be a very distinct cocktail. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I've always drank, you know, really not your typical women's cocktails, and it's not I'm not because I'm a pick-me girl, but I like, you know, I like whiskey. So things like Rob Roy, dry martini, you know, those kind of things I like. I don't like Manhattans or, you know, the sweeter stuff. A good gin and tonic, yeah, sure. But otherwise, yeah, no. And so when for my birthday we went to a cocktail bar. We went out with my sisters, and you know, my first cocktail was like, I think a dry martini, and second one's Rob Roy, and my sister's like, you know, going for things like lazy red cheeks and whatnot, and you know, which is fine for her, I don't judge, but it's the waitress goes like, oh my god, I really can appreciate a woman who orders drinks with, you know, oomph, like, you know, with balls. And I'm like, oh, not those la-di-da fruity drinks. And she, you know, takes my order and she looks at my sister. She goes like, yeah, what would you want? And my sister goes like, I want one of those la-di-da fruity drinks. So that was kind of fun. Now I have ice cube forms. I have skulls, which is not that odd a thing. I have skulls, I have donkeys. I have 3 donkeys that I could. And then the rest is just going for quantity instead of, you know, nice ones. I think we have ghost ones somewhere. They're kind of shit, so we don't really use those forms. That is one of the few things that, you know, why I would consider getting a big American style refrigerator is the ice cube machine. Ah, the D20 ice cube, yes. I have 2, no, I do have one fancy one, and that's one to make balls, like, you know, Keen would be here. I might have summoned Keen. I say balls 3 times and he will appear. So you can, for like in whiskey glasses, but usually I drink my whiskey neat, so. So yeah, I have that one. I have, you know, soapstones as well, which are like really, you know, they freeze really cold, and if you put them in whiskey, it doesn't water them down. Yeah, indeed. And not the metal ones, because the metal one leaves, you know, a flavor, which I don't like. And we used to have one to make diamonds, but then you had to, you know, boil the water and pour it in, and it was too much of a fuss, and it was usually spilling, so we went like, screw that shit, and we got cheap IKEA stuff that just, you know. But ice cubes are good. Oh, God damn it, stupid pen. And for the doggos in this weather, we have frozen sausage. There is the local equivalent of the American hot dog here, which is currywurst. Like, super cheap. It contains meat. Well, you know, almost. Forgot what I was about to say. I got sidetracked by Hosier, yes. I like him more than Ed Sheeran though. Did I share the Ed Sheeran thingy in the chat? Let me just quickly check. I did share that in the shit posting. Oh no, let me see if I can find it. Ah no, I couldn't share it. Never mind. Someone will like, you need to do, someone needs to remake the Shape of Water needs to have sequels. Shape of Water is like, you know, shagging a water creature, and then the Shape of Fire would be shagging a demon, and the Shape of Earth would be, you know, shagging an ant, and then fire, earth, water, you know, you get the thing. And then, you know, someone was like, yeah, the Shape of You. And someone was like, yeah, okay, I can appreciate the monster fucking based business, but you know, you brought Ed Sheeran into it, and that's just one step too far. I don't know, he just really got on my nerves for some weird reason, and I don't know why. Ed Sheeran, you know, people read whatever they want to in their so yeah, I don't know. And it's not because he's ginger. I have nothing against that one. He has no soul. I don't know, it is, I have issues with that one, with him. He's also, his music is all the same. There is, he's no longer innovative. He doesn't reinvent himself. He doesn't really do much beyond. But that's my 2 cents, you know. If you like Ed Sheeran, feel free. I mean, I live in a household where my husband liked, well, still likes the older Coldplay, and I only like one song by Coldplay, and he hates it. So you know. Yeah, I think in Belgium we also have this issue with things just get the horses get flogged to death on the radio. I mean, we were setting things in order at my dad's, so that was just quite intense. Making sure, since my dad has respiratory issues and he has an oxygen machine and stuff, we just went we go over the entire house. So that really means, almost with a toothbrush, clean everything out, and not just your cobwebs, but really clean out. So we had the radio on full blast, and oh my fucking god, it was literally during an hour or something, the same 4 songs that got replayed, and I just went why? Have some variation, man. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think also since you get bombarded with them everywhere, a tune is catchy, and the meme, people take it over and it becomes reels and it becomes TikTok and it just becomes everywhere, and that one is tiresome. That's one of the beauties of being a metalhead. Most metal doesn't really get overplayed. It was kind of funny at my previous job. I always have my headphones on because when people are talking, I just want to be able to focus on my work. And if I sit in a landscape, then you know, shit out of luck, dude. And I had my headphones in, and I was okay. I have to say, I was also a bit deliberately ignoring that colleague because they were annoying. So I had Korpiklani on full blast in my headphones, and she stands next to me. Yeah, but that's just because they're childish idiots who go boobies. But yeah, my colleague was standing next to my desk and being all oh my god, why shouldn't you be paying attention? And I was actually finishing something up, and she decides to get my attention by unplugging my headphone. Yeah, that was funny. I've learned quite fast the rest of the office does not appreciate Korpiklani as much as I do. I stayed calm, just lowered my volume, and I went what have we learned today? It's also, if it comes down to metal, there's only 5 songs they play on the radio, and most of them are either Iron Maiden, which Peanut likes, but or Metallica, Hamster of Muppets. Yes, because that one is since Stranger Things extremely popular. Yeah, I listen to most things, but usually at work, metal, because it's an outlet for the use wireless headphones. Yeah. Then someone pulls out the dongle, then I'm really losing my shit, I think. Okay, I have to say though, I'm getting kind of happy with it. It's not per se sharky, but it's monstery enough to... And then I need to look up the photos to see where all the patchwork was, because it's a white and tan doggo. Well, beagles are melting. I shall take photo of melting beagle. They're also not, the dogs are not really going out up until later tonight when it's cooled down a bit, because they won't die from not having been out at the regular hours. They can die from, you know, walking them in the wrong temperature. So yes. Alright, about half an hour-ish more. So we need to see how we're going to do this one in the future, simply because Dee might be working more at either the place where he is now, or, you know, he gets called quite a lot for, you know, interviews and stuff, so. And he doesn't, you know, I don't think he wants to admit it, but, you know, actually meeting people again outside of the house and not just digital online is making a difference for his mental health. So, well, colleagues, the people he has to. Yeah, I can imagine that it was. Yeah, whatever customers he has to deal with, he doesn't like, but that's kind of universal. Nobody likes to deal with customers. Join IT, yay! Where your customers are about the same. I also need to find a next subject to make in my stained glass. I have a couple of bigger projects in mind, but I want to test some things. I was thinking maybe to do something Mario, Super Mario like maybe like one of the one level up mushrooms, or like a King Boo, or maybe a Pokemon. I don't know, it's too many ideas. Ooh, butterflies, yes, but I have a thingy that I'm planning to do with butterflies. That is a classic Tiffany lamp. And I want to do a bigger piece with like dragonflies as well. So that's absolutely a good one, because I'm also, you know, designing my own sketches. I'm not just downloading. However, it's kind of funny because I think I have, excuse me, my sister has gotten me some, well, not me, her as well, some things for beadwork as well. It's like lamp work. Beadwork is when you take like a Bunsen burner and you just, you know, blow like, and you melt your glass in there and you make, you know, usually beads, but also, you know, like, you know, small creatures and whatnot. It's a smaller version of what they do in, like, you know, glass studios really, when they want to fuse things together. but beadwork, because I have a little kiln that fits in a microwave. So technically, I could make small glass boobs. And that would be funny. Like, you know, imagine making a small pendant about, like, you know, something the size of this. Have like a little hole in there. Have it be a slight pink, and then just in the middle, you know, a... And those things sell because people buy weird stuff. Which isn't bad, you know. All hail the weird people. But yeah, we're looking at marketplace and stuff for a second-hand microwave that goes up to 1000 watts. Because I'm not using my microwave for that one. Yeah, but that might be fun to experiment with as well, because, you know, making jewelry and stuff. It's all nice to paint and sketch and stuff, but for me, sketching and painting is like the first step in the process. You sketch it, you paint it or whatever, and then you make something. So yeah, I already had a question whether I could do a memorial piece for a deceased cat, and I'm like, okay, I can see what I can do. It was kind of annoying. I have 2 glass cutters, well 3, one is shit, and they need oil. Talking about boobs in stores and stuff. And you know, you need an oil with a specific viscosity, because, you know, it lubricates the little wheel and also makes it so that, you know, whatever glass splinters you get don't get stuck to the wheel and blunten your wheel or the mechanism. Makes sense. So we go to the store because I was like, I need a second not nail cutter, glass cutter, because I felt like the one that I had wasn't good enough. Spoiler alert, it was, but whatever. So we go to the DIY shop, and I ask for, you know, where are your glass cutters? Yeah, there. Yeah, they only had one, which is weird because like a ginormous store, but so, okay. Imagine going to a Lowe's in America and only find one glass cutter there. Like, what the hell? So I just go like, oh, only one? Oh god, this one needs oil as well. So I went like, where's the oil? And the dude just goes like, yeah, no, but you know, you need to know, little girl, that, you know, you use petroleum for that one. And I went like, the fuck I do? It's a complete wrong viscosity. No, but I do that one with petroleum. And I was like, yes, but you don't cut at this glass in the same rate as I do. And it's the wrong viscosity. Ergo, it will damage the glass. And he goes like, yes, but you need to know, working with old glass is more difficult than working with new glass. And I went like, dude, what the fuck are you yapping about? No. Each glass is individual. Textures glass, you know, brittle glass, mirrors, you know. What? But yeah, didn't let it go. And really trying to, you know, go with the entire petroleum bit. And I was like, dude, no. And then David is too polite to say anything. And I'm like, yeah, he means well. And I'm like, not everyone's mansplaining. Yeah, he was mansplaining. I have no patience for people like that. I mean, either I'm turning into a Karen or I'm really turning into a person who just doesn't give a shit anymore. I don't think I'm a Karen because I'm not going like, oh my god, I want to talk to your manager, or do you know who I am? But I'm just going like, it's not because I have boobs that, you know, you need to be a boob with, you know. I mean, I've been working with glass. First thing I built in glass, I was like 16, and I built like a terrarium from scratch for my steaks. I knew at this shit. So yeah. This could be magic. So yeah, dude was a massive boom. This one needs to be here as well. Then we can have the little. So yes, it's been a bit less studio work. Godverdomme. Sorry, my tip keeps breaking off. It's quite sensitive with the temperature as well lately, because it's been weekends have been either shelter work or my dad or just being tired. Slowly picking up energy again, getting some help with things as well, but it's been much. And I'm not gonna complain much about Belgian healthcare, but it took me 2 weeks of calling daily to the doctor to get my dad's prescription renewed, so that one really drained energy as well. So yes, but we're getting there. I need to, titles goes there. I might frame it, I might not frame it. But where are the average Marvel tags on a cover like that? One of the things which is quite annoying is that not a single cover is really uniform. Because this one, for instance, has a little tag here, and there's a Marvel thing here, and this one is called Jeff the Land Shark. And then you have the It's Jeff covers, and they're kind of more what I'm going after. Yes. And this one just has the It's Jeff. This one has, this is an exclusive. It needs a numbering though. And the ones with this frame are like the exclusive ones apparently, which is good. That means I can frame this one a bit more. Then we do the It's Daisy bit on there. And then this one is going to be, but then I can transfer this one hopefully semi-nicely too. This is let me see. And here. Let me do this one quickly. We can do the black background. And the text in the middle. Last time I designed the cover was for Road to Jove. But we do have actual cover paper made for actual sketching up comic covers, which I put somewhere very safe, and I can't find it right now. I just had it 2 seconds ago. It will pop up. But that one has like the lines and everything, and it looks a bit more official. Fake messages. I'm getting lots of Baldur's Gate memes. So this one needs to go in the middle, and the outside is black. But I think not everything needs to be perfectly framed. And I'm giving lots of inside thoughts out loud right now, because it's the creative process is so interesting. So then we put this one here. This is gonna be black, a nice black, and then I put like a numbering here, like number 1. Here we're gonna have It's Daisy. We need to get my colleagues are kind of used to, and depending on which language I think in, I curse in another language. So whenever I'm coding, and I'm usually going like, you know, God damn it, why aren't you working? Oh, you daft. No, left, no, right, no. Or I do test run, it doesn't work, and I really make loads of noises, and like, depending on the language I'm thinking in, you know, it becomes French or Swedish, or, which is funny. I have shouted out putain a couple of times because of things. Easy, it goes there. And then we do the little dog from here. What is kind of funny is that my youngest is, you know, they're not my dad's biological grandchildren, because technically he's my stepdad. But you know, he raised me, so he's dad. I don't really do, you know. And my youngest was fixing some electricity at my dad's, because he is, you know, trained electrician, so, you know, training to become a welder right now. And he's like fixing things, and the way he was fixing things was literally my dad in action, because my dad, if something doesn't work, it's like fuck, shit, curse, you know, whatever, you know, insert curse of choice there. And Peanut was doing the exact same thing. It was really funny, because he's literally hitting my dad in action again. If I grunt or make too many primal noises, people think other things, and I don't want to give them the wrong illusion. I think in about an hour or so I managed to get down a semi-decent concept. If I can find the other booklet. Did I put it here? No, that's mine. No, it's literally right in front of me. Is it? Yes. I will show you. Oh look. Old Warhammer Rogue Trader card. Weird shit I find here. So, these ones are comic book cover pages where you actually, you know, have the outline of, you know, what you want to have. So I'm going to use this one, fill it in as it should be filled in on the top with like it's readable. Yeah, comic book cover. Fill it in. Get this one transferred on here, which should work. Yeah, it should work. A bit lower, it's not an issue. Put the titles in and everything. Make a fake barcode. Oh no. Ah, oh god, he's home. Quick hide. I'm poor Nix. So yeah, that's the idea, to transfer it onto one of these ones, because it looks a bit more like an official comic cover and more fun to work with. So yeah, I'm not saying anything, you know, Mimir goes and wants to be in the garage all the time. And you know, we have like a hole from the garage to the garden that is actually there to, you know, like hoses and stuff through, but it's quite big, like, you know, we're talking this big. So, you know, occasionally we get like a rodent inside. The other day a rat came inside and Mimir went like, oh, nonce, which was fun. And then we got quite often, you know, a mouse or two gets in there and then Mimir is like, you know, playtime. So I'm not really upset at those things, but so this is Dog Veil Comics. I had that one in the Marvel logo as well. It's Daisy. I think the first steps I'm going to do, because I'm going to log out slowly because I need to make food and stuff, is transfer it, ink it, and then look at loads of references from Daisy where her white spots and stuff are, because I'm not going to use the Jeff, you know, grey colors. I'm just going to be tan and white and pink where necessary, and so I'm going to be looking at where is all the white. But yes, I think this is a good one to round up before the dearest husband comes upstairs and ruins everything. Or we wait, no. Ah, the great tomato has arrived.
Peanut is dead downstairs, and to be quite honest, this is a fridge, this house.
Come say hi to peeps.
Hi to peeps.
You're quite red, man.
Am I? Okay.
Yeah. Pomodoro.
Pomodoro. The great Pomodoro.
No. So, this is a...
It looks good. Very good. Very good. Very Milan.
So yes, I am going to log out, and we'll see how we'll deal with this one when the big D starts working more and stuff. I can take over a couple of these ones.
We'll see what it gives. Maybe I will do later streams or whatever. So currently I'm just really beat after work days.
It's okay. So have a good weekend, y'all, and come mozzarella. Yes, we'll post it up on the Discord, and then we'll see.
Yes.
So sorry, you just joined, and I'm just logging out. So have a good weekend, and
Yes.
see you guys around. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, which gives you lots of options already. Okay. Have a good one. Bye bye.
Bye.